and it came from a place where you might describe or think that he came from, does that contradict anything that's written about him in the Christian Bible?
Yep.
So are you saying the Bible is non-factual regarding his history?
Yes.
Okay. And then is he going to reappear, or is he going to come down with the mothership, or how's that going to work?
Right. They said the Ascended Masters, which would include Yeshua, will be coming. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which includes who?
Yeshua. Jesus is a Greek name, and I'm not going to get into all the history behind that. But anyway.
So the aliens refer to him as
No, that's
Yeshua?
His real name. That's what name he was born with.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just go to another question here on the Fast Blast. And by the way, everybody, if you have a question for Sheldan Nidle, go to the EdgeAM.com website and click on Fast Blast. It'll come right here to the studio. Looks like somebody's suggesting that the aliens, as they incorporate all these new ideas and giving everybody's credit card, tearing up the credit cards, giving them free mortgage and all release of everyone's debt. That sounds almost like a new world order. Is that what that is? No,
it's not. We're talking about shifting ourselves from planetary humans who live in a divided world to people who live in a world based on cooperation and respect and sovereignty for the individual. That's the basic core of all this. And government is based upon accepting the sovereignty and the unalienable rights of every human being on this planet, and working toward ways to maintain that, and also helping to create an environment for an advanced capabilities of every human to be fully realized and accepted and honored. And so it's all about creation. It's all about accepting invention. It's all about the process of honoring everybody. It's not about manipulation. It's not about competition. It's not about you're better than me. It's not about one government versus another or one major tyrant controlling the planet. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a system that we like to call Galactic Society, to translate into English. And what Galactic Society is about is a society in which every human being understands their life purpose, and they come together in what we can basically call clans and subclans, etc. Mm-hmm. And we create a society based upon everyone achieving their life mission and honoring each other, because you have abilities and talents that are actually working to increase the abilities and talents of others, and together you create a synergy. And this is really an advanced synergy. And the thing that I like to say about it is they create what's called a fluid group dynamics. And this is simply a way that allows groups to successfully manage themselves while respecting each person's sovereignty. And the sovereignty is based upon the belief that all humans have a unique knowledge or gift that can contribute to a group's purpose. And then that management is fluid because it allows each person to act according to their inner guidance and allows the group situation to creatively flow.
Mm-hmm. Now,
that's what it's...
Were you just reading something, or you said that from memory?
Yeah, I just read a little something from one of the things that I've written about.
Okay, very good. All right, we have this question for you, Sheldan. It says, do you understand the last day scenario? And if you do, will Xavier Solana fulfill the role of the Antichrist?
I have no idea about what they're talking about.
Okay. Well, you're not obligated to either. Somebody may want to know how to make a cake with honey, so you never know what you'll get.
Right.
Here's another question for you. It's a two-part question. Is there anything you can tell us to prove what you're saying?
All that I can tell you is to look around and see the changes, see the increases, or just look up in the stars and you'll see the ships.
Okay.
The thing that they've told me about, as I said, is I've not come here to prove or disprove what I'm about. Mm-hmm. I've just come here to present the information and the knowledge, act as an emissary, and to allow you to agree or disagree with it according to your intuitive heart knowledge and energies of what I see and what I say.
Okay, isn't that kind of like the Da Vinci Code? Because I understand that a man went and saw something that nobody else saw, and he talked to somebody nobody else knew, and he went somewhere nobody else been to, and then he extrapolated all the way to movie rights, but there's not one shred of evidence of what the whole thing's based on, because nothing of it is provable. Isn't that sort of what you're saying?
Well, what I'm trying to say here is that my mission here is to just explain what I've been told to say to people and to help them understand in a much better way what they're going through, what has happened to their planet, and where they're going. And that's what I'm here for. I'm I'm not here to come with a library of this is what's happening or that, which is probably why when I began this whole mission, I didn't start out with nuts and bolts people. I started out with people who were into spirituality and just related to intuitive knowledge, because that's basically what I'm about.
Okay. And here's the second part of the question from the writer. What happens to the people here that will resist their changes?
Well, there's all kinds of scenarios been going on about that, but what we have to understand is this is a civilization based on love and light coming to help us shift into our destined love and light that is innate in all of us and that we're going to manifest. And so for those people that resist, it's part of the process. In any drama, there has to be the quote-unquote villain and quote-unquote the hero. And so there are different degrees of that for everybody acting on this planet. And so we just have to not judge anything about good or bad or whatever, except to understand the process of what's happening and just move forward and be positive and stay in a total affirmation of moving toward accepting what you feel you need to do to create a new reality.
Okay. Here's a question for you. What is the prime evil light?
The prime evil light?
That's the
What
question.
is that?
I don't know, but like I say, if you can't answer it, that's okay. We've got tons of other questions here for you.
Sure.
Can the Syrians, did I pronounce that right? Syrians?
Syrians, yeah.
Okay. Can they time travel?
Yes, they can.
Okay. Well, why don't they go back and undo the knowledge of the atomic bomb, the manufacture of it?
Because the atomic energy and all that it created was part of a process of moving us forward in consciousness. Sometimes things that seem very bad are things that move us forward. We could say the same thing about electricity and about the automobile, especially the gasoline. That was part of a process. And then before that, there was the whole ignomous thing going on between whale oil and creating modern civilization. And each group of that was what moved us forward toward creating the kind of society that we put forth at the end of World War II that is the basis for an explosion in consciousness that's happened in the last 50 years.
Okay. Now, you talked to the Syrians, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Can you count to 5 in Syrian?
Count to 5 in Syrian?
Yes.
Okay. The first word is una, then comes sua, then comes tigar, then comes vau, and then comes trau. Okay?
Okay, there you go. Well, somebody asked it, and you did it. Very good. Here's a question for you. Like I said, we have lots of questions. Do they live forever, and do they reproduce?
They reproduce because sexuality is in advanced beings is also part of a spiritual bringing together, because spiritual energy is sexual, physical, as well as spiritual. So they do reproduce, and one of the things they like to do is to move from childhood into adulthood. And, of course, they live a lot longer than we do. They live 3,000 years. So
They do.
Adulthood to them is starts a lot later than it would here. We'd probably be all old people by the time you get out of what they would call adolescence, which is usually around 70 or 80.
Well, Sheldon, wouldn't it be more believable if God himself came down and made these changes? Why does he need to send the aliens to do it?
Well, it's a process. This is a physicality, and part of the process of physicality is that the people who reside in physicality have an obligation and responsibility to help other beings in physicality to move forward. So we're doing it, and the spiritual aspects are doing it, and also we have other parts of our space family, our other physical aspects, that are coming forward to help and aid us. And that's what is happening right now. So we have to look at the so-called UFO phenomenon that happened in a large way at the end of World War II and also during World War II as being part of a procedure to move us forward in consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know,
of course, there were all initial messages that happened in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
There's also the light and the dark energies happening. There's all the things that went on between the secret governments and a lot of the dark aliens that have since been done. But we have to see all of this in the whole purview, the whole big picture. So
okay, well, Sheldon, you know, I've asked a question. I still don't know if it's clear, because you're talking about a planet with billions of people. I'm sure when that landing happens, there's going to be a bunch of people with some RPGs that aren't going to take any guff from these